to the law that Attorney Brown was referring to as a possible remedy or action that if you'd like to take regarding this government spending. It's in the comments on our Facebook stream. And we're going to continue on in the Zoom room where we are going to check in with our good friend, Mr. David Dell'isola, the Director of the Department of Labor, for an update on, what's happening over there. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Dave.
How you guys doing? Haven't talked to you in a while.
I know, it's been a minute. Let's just get right into it then. So I saw that the PUA disbursement is less than it was, and is that because more people are coming off the PUA and getting jobs?
I hope so. I mean, that would make anecdotally sense that it went from like 17.5 million down to 14.8. We are actively pushing job searching, and it's going to be mandatory very soon. And the island is opening up. More businesses are moving forward. We're getting, increase of restrictions, loosening up restrictions, I should say. So everything is pointing towards that direction, and I hope and keep my fingers crossed that it continues to go down. But so I'm sure you've seen, we've been advertising and putting up a lot of information on August 1st. That's the start of the work week that Work Search will start to become effective. And we have a lot of information that have been printed, step-by-step tutorials. We have a video tutorial on how exactly to put in your job search on weekly claims when you file, and guidance. So, if you haven't seen it, our website, the dol.guam.gov website, if you click that, you'll see the big banner of red banner that says important information on COVID and unemployment assistance. You click that button and you're going to see everything that I mentioned, from in the log sheet to step-by-step written and video on how to do work search. And so I strongly recommend that claimants take a look at it and start to figure out how to do it. I know I'm starting to hear from some of the 311 staff that, claimants are already complaining that they don't want to do the job search. And I just gonna have to let them know that this is a federal program and this is a federal requirement, and we are just putting it together and working it as the feds give the money. Nobody has to do it. If you don't want the federal money, then you don't have to do the work search. But if you're going to take the money from the feds for the PUA, then this is the requirements that they are putting in place. The governor delayed it as much as possible so that I was able to get the information campaign out there to teach them and make sure that they understand it. Because unlike the States, people in Guam aren't familiar with it and how to do it. So I do want to let the claimants know that there is, you have to remember, the PUA that we have is a standalone piece that's supposed to be meshed in, and I think you've heard me say this, with the unemployment insurance piece. And since it's a standalone piece, we do kind of miss some functionality with it. So the people that are going to have, the claimants categories that are going to have problems is those who are self-employed with no income, and the small amount of those who are reduced hours, who do not work at all for a work week. The system basically is programmed to recognize if you enter 3 job searches, then it says, okay, you've satisfied the requirement, you're qualified to get that week's payment. Or if you're reduced hours and you put in a income, it says, all right, we don't see any job searches. Oh, we see an income. Therefore, you're partially working. You're exempt from the work search. You do qualify for that weekly. But if you're self-employed and you don't have any income, it's going to flag it. If you are reduced hours and you have no income for that week, it's going to say you didn't do your job search. Unfortunately, there's no workaround in our system. And we've been working on that for the last couple of weeks to figure out a way. So the only thing that we can tell you to do is that when the system flags it, you're going to have to call in the 311 or go to the Dell'isola Job Center and have it manually corrected. That's just the facts, the system that we have, because typically UI or PUA, requires job searches, and unemployed, self-employed people typically aren't in any unemployment program because they carry their own self-insurance. But so I just wanted to make that clear that it is kind of an inconvenience to those who are self-employed without any income, and those who may be working once every other week or whatever at reduced hours, but are working, which I think is very small, very small. But I do want to let the public know that there is a small category of people that there's no workaround.
Would applying for a job kind of satisfy the requirement for job search, or does one have to actually do an interview?
Just applying for a job, and that can be done. If you go on Hire Guam and get your resume posted and fill out all that information, you can do all your job searches through that, because all you have to do is look for a potential employer and upload your resume and apply for that person or for that employer, and you satisfied a job search. So this is not having to interview or not having to try, all it is looking for work, applying for work, going to a business and say, do you have this job opening here? Can you take my resume? Or can I fill out a job application? And that's a job search. We even go as far as, if you go down to the AJC and you ask for assistance to get, your resume or to file it at our lab, that's a job search. Posting, going in a Hire Guam and getting in there and posting your resume and all that, that's considered one job search. So we're, it's only 5 weeks left, and we're trying to prepare you for September 4th, when job searches stop and PUA stops. Everything stops. You're on your own. You can still use Hire Guam to help you look for work, job fairs and all that. So we're just trying to get you up and running, and and USDOL is requiring it also, and the Gov also recommends it now that we're opening up and loosening restrictions. So this was something that was going to happen sooner than later, and it's something we have to prepare for.
Are our job requirements similar to those in the CNMI, Dave? Do you know?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Are our job search requirements here on Guam mirroring the CNMI's job search requirements? Because I think in theirs,
Yes.
you have to be qualified for the job you're applying for.
Well, of course, a job search, you can't go in and apply for a doctor if you're not a doctor. That's not a legitimate job search. You can't go and apply to be a master plumber if you're never done plumbing. So, I can't write up rules for every single piece of information. That you have to, of course, be qualified or at least be reasonably
yeah.
doing a job search for something,
No, we need to
yeah.
apply. We need more doctors
Right,
because
here's us.
they're going to leave because Bill 112. So everybody go apply to be a doctor.
So yes,
Lord.
I can't write rules for common sense,
Right.
and so Saipan, Guam, and the other territories, FAS, we mirror Hawaii law.
Okay.
Since we don't have a UI law or anything, we mirror their laws, and that's why the job search requirement mirrors after Hawaii's.
Thank you for that, Dave. I was asking for a
Cool.
friend.
I figured it was one of your friends.
Yeah, you know my friends. All right,
Not
anything else?
Sabrina's friends.
No,
They're
Sabrina's friends
single
are all
men.
no, but she's friends who, yeah, her friends.
They're
are
already working.
Right on.
Sabrina's friends.
You good, Bree? You're
But
right.
yes,
I'm
and
gonna go apply for
other
be a
than that,
doctor.
the business party Tao, we're working on, we're
yeah.
finalizing the application process. We're going to be circling together with Gita to, put them together to try to make them as seamless and as efficient as possible. We're kind of waiting for the funds and getting the final guidelines on how the funds can be used from the feds. So that's kind of holding up everybody, because I don't want to run a program and then find out that, my program funding is, guidelines are against ARPA funds or anything like that. We're moving forward as aggressively as we can. We're looking at our program to award and start funding it in October. So that gives us a month to kind of work PUA and shift resources from PUA over to this program, to the Business Party Tata program. And, it's still looking like 480 hours at $9.25 an hour. And you have to be at least 4 weeks unemployed. And a business will request how many they can apply, hire in a 6-month period, I think is what we're looking for, so that it doesn't drag out. And we'll see how that first round goes, if I use up all my funds on the first round. And if not, then we will do a first round, and then we'll look at possibly a second round, maybe for the Christmas season hirings. More businesses may be opening at that time and may not be ready to open in October. So we're trying to see how much funding it is. But, the whole intent of this program is to get businesses not only to open with Gita's program, the Small Business Pandemic Assistance Grant. That'll help businesses open. And once they're open, my Business Party Tata, the governor's Business Party Tata, will help them take risk at hiring people who are unemployed, so that they can come in and, start the work, work experience, start the job training, and become viable employees for permanent employment at the end of 480 hours. So it's all about helping businesses open and hire, and are unemployed. Hopefully we can help several thousand unemployed get into job opportunities.
Thank you, Dave.
I think it helps both sides.
Right on.
All right. Thanks,
Well, there you
Dave.
go. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey, have a good
Look
weekend.
forward to seeing you again.
Okay,
All right.
Dave.
And one last thing
Oh.
I want to say is we did batch last Tuesday, 14.8 million, like I said, and that gives us a grand total of $757.2 million pumped into the economy with PUA. So that isn't some small change.
Wow. Yeah.
Sounds like the budget.
Yeah, it does. I think that's more than the Guam budget. Thank you, Dave.
So, thank you guys. I'll
See ya.
see you soon.
Okay.
All right, take
there you
care.
go. Dave Dell'isola, Labor Director. It's 9:10. Let's go ahead and get into Sports Link here with Dave Delgado from the KUAM sports team. Again, Sports Link is brought to you by Cure Alkaline Water and Marianas